Hello everyone, Death Stimulator here, bringing you some more naval action. So, today we're kicking off with a battle between two Renome, a Mercury and a Brig, and we jumped in to assist an AI Trincomalee that was being engaged. So the Trincomalee was weighing in at, I think it's 400 battle rating, and this little fleet was weighing in at 1,000. As the Trincomalee is actually Dutch by origin, like ourselves, we joined their side. And we're hoping to be able to clean up fairly smoothly. Frigate tends to go fairly well against Renomes. It should pay off for us, ideally. As you can see, we are coming from another battle. We did start the match with a little bit of damage that we couldn't repair after the last one. And so our focus here will just be knocking down these small frigates as quickly as possible. I think the Renome is a frigate class ship. I could be mistaken. Yeah, looks like their guns are a little light against us, which I'm certainly not going to complain about, to be honest. The escorts aren't a bother to us at all, and probably one or two more small broadsides should see us right. Not too much of a fight, but one of the advantages is having the frigate. I'm very tempted to capture this Renome actually, but it's in pretty poor shape. We wouldn't really get very much money for it. Probably better for us to hold off for the moment and switch. Oh, and just like take the XP. What have we got there? It's, Mercury. Wait, was that... Oh! We may actually be a little late. I don't think so, though. I think we spotted the fire fairly quickly. Sometimes I don't quite make out the sound over the over the other game noises. Oh, and again? I guess we are taking a fair few hits. I do believe the current setup is still... you have a chance to get set on fire with each shot. And as such, more shots equals more chances to get set on fire. At least that's the conversations I've had with other players, and that's their thoughts on it. Eesh, that was bad on our part. But we'll be able to sink the Mercury here, probably. Oh no, Mercury's a little bit tougher than I expected. We are going to look at repairing our bowsprit first up. Otherwise, we just won't be as manoeuvrable as we could ideally be. Renome is going down, that's good. Other one's repaired itself. We'll try and close out that one. Alright, well, we will try to board the Brig here, if we can get away with it. This would really just be the fastest way to end this little engagement. We can't afford to lose our bowsprit again as well, so if we have to ram the brig, that's not such an issue. We have lost a lot of guns looking at this. Inside 6 minutes, we've lost 5 guns on our lower decks. And it looks like we've still got all the guns on our top decks. Really hope they maybe change that up in the damage. Because it only seems to happen with AI. Having played a little bit more against players, I shouldn't say it's not a lot more, but a little bit more against players. I find that we don't lose cannons anywhere near as often. And there doesn't seem to be any sort of mechanical consistency behind how you lose them. It doesn't seem to be bullshot, it doesn't seem to be when I'm close or far. It doesn't necessarily seem to be shots going up onto the deck or through the portholes. So I'm unsure as the reasoning to that. Once again, though, it does seem to be tied with shots. So the more shots we take, the more chance we seem to have, at least. And this is all confirmation bias and a very small sample size we're working off. But the more shots I take, the more often I lose guns. We'll probably cop a bit more fire than we want off this Renome, but it's a fairly relaxed battle. Ideally, the Trink will deal with the Mercury, and we just need to deal with that pesky Brig. Might set up to use our first repair here, actually. Try and get the most out of it before the match is over. Right, might pop our rudder repair at this point. We've already done a sail repair, so we'll just wait until the match is essentially over for that. And hold off on using our last repair, of course, until the Brig is sunk. Or we capture it. Whichever comes first. There we go. Reasonable way to wrap this little match up. There we go. Well, the Brig's not going to fetch us that much money. I was thinking it isn't going to get us that much XP. At least that much more XP than we're going to get otherwise. Alright, well, that's all wrapped up. So I'll spare you guys the repair process and come back when the match is over. So we got a little bit of a haul, a couple of thousand gold, a couple of hundred XP, pretty standard these days. Fine extra fireproof coating. We could use that the amount of times that we get set on fire. Alright, and we'll just send this back to good old Oranjestad. When we get back there, we can take care of the sails. So, in the meantime, we're going to pop out into open world and look at making our way along the coast here. So, the last couple of battles we've had have been mixed success. First one was against a Renome. Second one was against a Trincomalee and a Trader Brig and the Trader Snow, sorry. And the final one is, of course, the one we've just had a look at, which was the 2 Renome. Admittedly, that was very much in our favour. Little bit much, I think. The 2 bell pulls and a frigate would probably manage to sink us without too much issue. So instead, we will run along the coast and just see if we can find any other prey. It's a major Spanish area, so we'll keep our eye out for Spanish players. Fight going on behind us. Not really probably going to be worth our time there, only 200 BR, so there'll be something like 2 cutters or 2 privateers. I think they've got a battle rating of 100. Won't be anything particularly good if there's 2 of them. Alright, well, we might cut away for a minute and we'll be back shortly. See you then. So we ended up accidentally going back to Oranjestad. I wasn't quite paying attention and I'd seen a port and was like, I'll just go back to that port, and ended up teleporting myself home, which was a rather silly mistake. However, we're back around Oranjestad, so I'm going to start working my way south once again, pass through some of the British territories and French territories, probably stop by Plymouth as well. We still have a port there, and there are many opportunities which we can, kind of stopping along the way, looking at neutral ports, seeing what's available to purchase. We've gotten our resources up again, so what are we on at the moment? 76,000 now. And of course we need about another 13,000 experience before we rank up again. So we'll be looking to get in kind of any fights along the way. Shame we missed that one. That would have been rather good. So Plymouth's just over there. Not too far. Not really any fights that are worth the time. That's one of the big things now as well. It's like, yes, we can crush these ships very, very quickly, but it'll still take a minimum of 5 minutes to do. Whereas we can probably take a ship of our size, say a frigate, in the same amount of time. And right now, all I really want to do is just get into Plymouth and have a look and see what they've got there. I'm not too fussed on picking every little fight that comes along. Even though, of course, they would stack up over time. That's kind of why one of the good things to do when you're starting out and you just have the basic links is just go and throw yourself at whatever ship you want, because it's all going to stack up here. As long as you get a couple of hits in, it's going to give you experience and gold and but you gain access to crews and eventually get better ships until you find stuff that you particularly want to pilot. I mean, if you want to pilot a Lynx, heck, you can pilot a Lynx right off the bat. But if you want to pilot something bigger, well, it's just about working your way up to it. Great opportunity, of course, to work with other people in your nation or your faction, depending on how you look at it. If you've joined the pirates, there's a few more pirate ports cropping up now, which is great to see. I must admit, I'm rather happy to see it. It does detract a little bit. Naturally there weren't that many pirate ports. However, you also need to make it viable for people who want to play it. Neutral still seems to be one of the most difficult to play, especially because trading's very static at the moment. Everything's kind of locked down as there's no resource use, there's no trading, there's no crafting system in yet, and because of that, all the resources are just sitting in port not being used, and you move them about from place to place and trade value, but it's not really going to get you anything. Your best bet's still just fighting, getting a reasonable ship and getting into combat. How's that looking? No. All these battles around here seem to be closed. Most unfortunate. Well, we'll be able to stop at Plymouth momentarily and see what they have available. I do love that island. If it's a little hard to... Basically, if you remember from my earlier videos, if you've seen some of those, that used to be a tiny little island, just probably not too much bigger than the mouse cursor. People used to go there occasionally for duels. I had a duel near it at one point with, I believe, an American. And the fact that it's a rather large and kind of predominant volcanic island there, it's amusing. It is, once again, I know I harp on about it, but it's really nice to have, just a bit of topography. In any case, we're here. We can go check out the store. Probably the next ship that I want to go up to is the Bologna. And we'll have a look at the ships momentarily, but we'll first check out the shop. Probably work our way through. Ooh. Well, it's bow planking, though. I mean, it's good. It's really good. Everything else is kind of mediocre. Unfortunately, having only one upgrade slot, that's also really solid. If we were to have, say, a tanking vessel, like a Santissima or a Bologna, I think a Bologna is slightly tankier. We'll have a look. Actually, let's just go right now and have a look. So, first rate, Santissima. What are your stats? You've got... Oh, it doesn't actually have the armor in that. That's a bit annoying. Any Bolognas available? No Bolognas. So, not too far if we actually want to look at getting a victory, which I would quite like to, except I probably want to get a better one. So we'll probably just have to look at least doubling our money. Probably going a little bit over that as well. We could even consider getting the Santissima. Anyway, we were looking at that for armor to see if it would be worthwhile getting this kind of stuff. And I think for the moment we'll probably leave it. The modules are nice, but it's not going to be worthwhile having a bunch of modules until we can actually get how can I put it? Until we can actually get ships that have more module slots, I guess you could call them. Without the module slots, you can only have, we've only got one equipped at the moment. Powder monkeys. I'm not big on capturing with this one at the moment, so I'd just rather have the reload. I should actually check and see if they have a purple powder monkeys. I was kind of running through the list before without really checking them out. Nope, nothing of interest. Alright, so we'll continue on. In the meantime, we'll take another break and come back when something's going on. I'll see you all shortly. So, after a short time on the open sea, we were actually incredibly fortunate to come across a small match before having a glitch when we reloaded and getting booted from the server, which is why you won't see any battle records there. We're going to rush back to Plymouth and show off the fact that... Oh, no, never mind, we can see it here. We don't even need to go back to port. We picked up an exceptional extra hammocks, which is great. Pretty sure you can't even buy them anymore. One of the kind of few items that you can't buy. I believe a Trincomalee is another one. And while I won't be using it directly, I will certainly look at using it once we get a larger ship. Just to have ridiculous levels of crew, make it very easy for us to capture other ships, even large ships. 15% crew is nothing to be scoffed at. We might check it out on this, because we've got 275 crew on a frigate, and in general, it shouldn't be too bad. Takes to 300, basically. Like a little bit over 300. It's a bit early in the morning for my maths, unfortunately. After we've checked that out, we'll probably have to wrap up the episode there, though, as we haven't had much luck in terms of finding players. Admittedly, we have been we kicked ourselves back to Oranjestad and this area. And a little bit of hunting. Probably tomorrow we might be able to come up with something. In the meantime, we'll have a look at this very lucky upgrade that we've found. And may actually sell off our old mastercrafted ones. Not that we were using them anyway, but was hanging on to them for use because it's such a rare item. I think the exceptional one's something like 10,000 on its own. But we'll have a look. Just perform the basic repairs that we need to do on the ship. We'll have a look at the cost. Once again, it's Plymouth. We've seen all this stuff before. 10,000. It's not too bad. Not too bad at all. But if we were to equip it... So we're 280. 322. That's great. That's around the same amount as a Trincomalee has. I think 325 is a Trincomalee. That would be pretty phenomenal. At the moment, though, I'm just going to stick with the reload time. So, wrap it up there. Bit of a short one today. As usual, it's been Death Simulator. Thank you very much for watching. If you did enjoy the video, do let us know. And please consider liking, commenting, favouriting, or subscribing, as your support does mean the world to me. I'll see you all next time.